Haha!
Man, it's
We've had a wonderful start today.
I know, right?
Hi guys, high five.
Right.
And
Happy
it should
Friday.
adjust.
Pay yourself. It's August 9th.
It's not adjusting. It is.
Hey, all right,
Hey,
there
okay.
we go. Wow.
High five. Happy
Must-
Friday. Pay
must-
yourself. I feel better because I am paid. Oh, I just had to get that off my chest.
Yes.
It is Friday, August 9th, 2024. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
And it's Hanging with Uncle. We're having a very sloppy start.
Yeah.
To
I
everything.
feel like we're starting a sprint in mud.
Yeah, it's one of those Fridays. Take care of yourself, of course. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day, had a wonderful week, you survived. We have a few things to talk about, but first, don't forget to hit the like button,
And subscribe.
of course, and also the notification bell to know when we go live in the future.
All right.
I think that's what our guys do whenever we get on. Hi, Deb. Right now. See, they are. Also,
Hi, Deb.
interact with us in the chat. We actually want to get more interactive during the show. If you want to start talking, we'll talk. I'll start throwing things out there a little bit
Yes.
more. So say things. Get involved in the conversation, because that's what this is.
That's what it is.
A few things to talk about today.
Ranked choice voting.
I had no idea what that is.
So a few states use that. California does.
Uh-huh.
And what ranked choice voting does, let's say you have your congressional district, right? We live in Arizona's 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you have 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, an independent, all running for that one seat to represent Arizona's 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ranked choice voting would put everybody on the ballot, and then the top 2 winners, so whoever finishes first and second,
Mm-hmm.
those 2 go on to campaign for November in the general election for the election, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Right. And here's the problem, just like we talked before.
Yeah.
Why neither one of us are registered or affiliated with any party.
We're independent is the idea.
Right. So is because the people opposing ranked choice voting here in Arizona come from the Democrat and the Republican Party.
So, because that gives more opportunities for others, is that why?
Correct.
Okay. So, for example, an independent has more of an opportunity to get in and to become president or to become a runner, because there's only 2 spots, right, for November. So would they tag team? Excuse me, sorry. Kind of like go against them, because they are big monies in the game. Right?
It'll be like right now it looks like, the enemy of my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So because, all right, right now here in Arizona, we had something very special happen, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
is that there are more independent voters than there are registered Republicans or Democrats.
Like in a whole, or just like different? Like
We are the
separately?
largest voting bloc.
Crazy.
And so that's why
Okay.
you see both those other parties, the establishment,
Mm-hmm.
opposing ranked choice voting.
It's very interesting. I like that. That's a twist. Hold on a second. So, for example, we did kind of like jibber jabber about this and kind of talk about the topic, but the California has it, right?
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't that kind of make it easier for it to stay blue as well?
Well, in California, it does, only because in statewide elections, there's more Democrats statewide than there are Republicans.
Right. So, like, the majority would win more often because there's going to be more Democrat opportunities than Republican opportunities, right, and stuff like that.
Right, but
So-
now, like, for example, in California, you're running for Congress.
Uh-huh.
You may live in a congressional district that has more registered Republicans than Democrats.
Right.
So in that regard, ranked choice voting would only help the Republican.
So I feel like ranked choice voting is better off in an independent state of mind then, when everything's the majority of independency. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a better outcome that way.
because we're the largest voting bloc now, it gives more of an opportunity for one of the other two main parties to
not
be
in it.
knocked off
That's
the
what I was
ballot
gonna
in the
get
primary.
to. Okay.
Yeah.
So, example, right? Republican, Democrat, another Democrat because majority, and then an independent, right? So 4.
Right.
Independent wins. That means literally they have to fight amongst themselves to go against the independent. Then, in a way.
So, all right. So let's theoretically think about it like this. All right. What's more likely to happen here where we are? We're probably going to have a Republican and an independent if somebody chooses to run independent, because we talked about before how hard they make that.
Right. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Now, but it really, people are always saying that they want a third option. They're tired of a two-party system. And ranked choice voting, especially here in Arizona now, since we're the majority voting bloc, would give us more of a say and makes the establishment weaker.
Even if just like take the independent part out, right? Just like Kobe, right? Throw it away. Not even just taking them out, just like 2 blues, 2 reds, right? I feel like since we are majority independent here, it gives the independent more power. That's why they would fear us as the independent voter. So independent voters have more power in vote because they choose where their vote gets to go. It's like, okay, amuse me. Like, I feel like that's what we want with our politics because we want to have more of that power. We want them to do the things we want them to do.
Yeah.
And it gives the independent more of that power to where they do have to kind of bend their will, I feel.
So, and again, I think...
a little bit, at least.
And I don't like this line of thinking because, again, like we talked about before, if I'm a Republican, I may have to get 3,000 signatures to qualify to get on the ballot. If I'm a Democrat, I may need 2,500 to qualify to get on the ballot.
Right.
Why, if I'm an independent, do I need 20,000 signatures to get on the ballot?
Right, but that's for somebody running, yeah.
Right, but that's how hard they make it. The establishment makes it very, very difficult for an independent to shine here in Arizona.
And that's true. And we've talked about that before on the show, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that with even then ranked choice voting, take the independent person out. It gives us, the independent voter, more of a power, and I like that. Like, yes, there are rules against the independent representative, and maybe that's probably more of a balance that we would need in office, but changes need to happen for that, obviously, right? Bigger changes than what just doing ranked choice voting. But I still feel like ranked choice voting gives us more of an opportunity to put what we want into government instead of what we don't want. You know what I mean? I still feel like it helps because then it gives both voting sections more of a purpose, because you can have 2 blues and 2 reds, but if the 2 blues are winning and they're doing well, the reds are going to fall behind, and then they won't have any say at the end, and then we get to pick basically out of the 2 blues, like, okay, what would be the best one here, there, and
right.
It kind of takes those people who are red voters.
That's
like,
it.
You know what I mean? So it gives everybody still that opportunity to vote differently, which is what I'm trying to get at next, instead of voting for their team, to actually look at the candidates and vote that way. I feel like if we hop into a ranked choice voting system, then there's more of a window for us to get independence into office.
Oh, without a doubt.
Later on.
That's what they're afraid of.
I really like it. I like the fear. I do. So, yeah, I really like that, honestly. I think that helps out us a lot.
It's one more example of how the establishment is pushing down on us, trying to impose their will upon us, the people, when really So I believe this election cycle, the petitions were withdrawn for ranked choice voting because legally they want to make sure all their I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in 26, we'll see ranked choice voting
Gotcha.
on the ballot as a ballot measure
As a
by
choice.
us, the people,
Okay.
signing the ballot measure to say, put this on the ballot, this is what we want.
I like it because, but again, I feel like it only helps the independent majority states, right? Because then hopping back to California with them being majority Democrat, it's always going to stay blue. It's going to have more of an opportunity to stay blue, actually, because of how the population works and everything like that.
and for
same with red
statewide
states.
elections, it does, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, there are poisons that come with it, positives and negatives, you know what I mean? But I think it's more of a positive for the future than negative, you know what I mean? It outweighs that a little bit more. I don't know. I just see it being a bad. Not saying California staying blue is a bad thing, and or saying it needs to change. But what I'm trying to say is that like those states that have a huge majority rule, red or blue, aren't gonna get that independent opportunity like you and I have
Yeah.
because their majority is like that. You know. So if they went into a rank system, it would just lock them in as that color for.
It
Decades.
really does, man. It really does.
Decades.
And when and why California went to ranked choice voting, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's something, again, if you're interested or curious to
Take a look
find
into
out, there's this thing called Google and you can find out anything you want,
Absolutely. Now, small little topic, just a little side note. Debster does have a question. She
All
said,
right.
"Hey, Gene, by the way, how was your Deadpool movie?" We talked about earlier not to spoil anything, so no spoilerinos for me, please.
All right, so
But
I will say it held my interest. There were some really, really great one-liners in it.
I love that.
And if you get a chance to see it on the big screen, I would recommend it.
I think we should.
So, and just on a side note,
Uh-huh.
I used to take my kids to the comic book store all the time, which, truth be told, as an adult, it just gave me a reason to keep going back to the comic book store. I'm taking the kids, right? Yeah.
My life.
And I used to read the Deadpool comic books by Marvel, and that is some of the funniest stuff I have ever read. So
I know when the kiddo gets older, he definitely is going to have more of an interest in reading. He does have an interest in reading. He's good at it, but
yeah,
the focus of it and the taking the time away from other things to do it, when maturity wise, he's going to have a whole collection of manga to look through whenever he gets to a certain age.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it. I would recommend going to see it.
absolutely. I've heard the same thing. I heard it's good as the others, which is what I hope for. You know what I mean? Because sometimes movies tend to die out after 2 or 3 of them. Fast and the Furious.
All I'll say is, man, how they justified the writing to pull off the movie, making it is worth it.
Brittany says that she has some of them in hardcover also. She does. Confirmed.
Nice.
She has some Deadpool
Nice.
hardcovers. I was super. It reminds me of nerd time. It reminds me of not manga, but comic books. I have the Carnage Spider-Man comic books, and when Carnage was in the Venom movie, I was like, oh, but he needs his own movie.
Oh, so side note on the side note.
Yeah.
Part of the previews, there's another Carnage or Venom movie coming out with Tom Hardy playing Venom.
Yes,
So-
Deadpool is a comic book. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, as a whole, man, he is an entire character in his own world,
Oh,
in his comics.
my
Fourth
God.
wall
I mean,
everywhere. Like,
Dude, I mean, I'm just gonna say they go there.
yes, they go
but
there.
It's just, the movie's worthwhile.
Could you imagine if a Deadpool comic came out today? With all the spins and all the jokes he has lined up in his arsenal. He is a no-filter anti-hero, so he doesn't care too much about safety of others and such, like in the movies. But
Yeah.
definitely, if you haven't seen any of the movies, maybe check out one of the comics. Though. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, next topic. Don't quite remember what it is.
Oh, well, so Vice President Harris
That's what it was.
and Tim Walz, her running mate, are here in Arizona giving a rally today.
Yeah, that's what it was. And the snowball is snowballing is what the phrase is right now for this. Because if you're a Glendale, Phoenix resident, you understand how far this line is. The event is being hosted at Desert Diamond Arena.
Yeah.
Off of the 17, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, Desert Diamond Arena, right? Which is north of the Glendale Stadium where the Cardinals play.
Yep.
Football team, Arizona football team. The line goes from Desert Diamond to having Glendale Stadium literally parking lot of the stadium.
That's a 2-mile line.
The line was ridiculous. People they got their tickets pre-ordered ahead of time. They got email and everything like that. My parents are there.
And 105 degree heat today. That's the temperature.
They showed up 5 hours early.
And,
In 105.
in 105 degree
That's
heat.
hot as hell.
So, I mean, when you talk about momentum
Uh-huh.
and joy and excitement,
Which
to what
really
the
gets to
campaign
people.
looks now.
Which is like crack to some people.
So, we were looking at pictures earlier. Number one,
Yes.
Desert Diamond holds 20,000 people.
Yes. And they had to turn people away.
They were turning people away, and the turnout area, the overflow outside, was packed. They were standing shoulder to shoulder.
And underneath tents outside of the casino.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in contrast, they showed a clip that Cadet Bone Spurs was having in Bozeman, Montana today.
Today, at the same time around now,
Yeah.
being held. And many of the floor seats were empty at the moment.
They were all empty. It was a ghost town.
It was. They were rallying the crowd. Woo! What a crowd. You can see all the big American flags sitting in the chairs and everything.
Man, Boot Hill Cemetery at Tombstone has more people.
But it's like, it's amazing to see, like you said, the snowball. It's amazing to see the effect. The ecstasy people are getting from the... I don't even know how to explain it. The addiction, the excitement, the joy of just like meeting these people and wanting to see them and hear them speak. I want to make many points on it. We've heard Kamala speak before. She's very direct. She had a moment where she had to correct a protester this week.
Saw that.
Yeah, that was good. Go check that out. It's a good one. But Tim Walz, right? Tim Walz?
Walz.
Tim Walz, man. It is a breath of fresh air. I went, oh, and I feel different hearing the man speak.
I just love his mind your own damn business philosophy.
Yeah, the Minnesota philosophy.
Yeah.
Right? But like he also is in with the internet memes, which I'm super for, which means he's in with the culture. He's in with the progressives, the current, the new, the young. He made couch jokes, which, yes.
So this is what I like about Tim Walz, right? As governor of Minnesota,
Yes.
he signed free school breakfast and lunches to
All for that.
children
All for it.
in Minnesota.
I remember when I didn't have enough points or money to get lunch at school and I couldn't.
Man, being hungry is no joke. If you've never experienced it, you don't want to.
No.
Especially as a child when 100% of your existence relies upon somebody else. You can't get that for yourself.
And what does it hurt? Many states have their own programs that help support kids who need that anyways. Why not just give it to all the children? Why are the others just... Why?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's kind of the world we live in right now anyways. Everyone deserves everything, right? But in
Yeah.
theory, it makes it easier, you know?
And he signed recreational marijuana into
Hey!
Minnesota.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Very
There's
fun.
just a couple of things. I mean, look it up yourself. Wikipedia is a wonderful thing, too. Everything
Really?
he's done is right there.
It's right there. You also had a segment on him. that's doing really well, honestly. 300, a few hundred views on that, honestly, which is doing very well at the moment. Go check it out if you haven't. It actually is a really good
Wednesday show, yeah.
Pass it around too, let your friends know, because I think you really talked about him as a whole in that video and helped a lot. I think people are seeing that too, because that's a good video.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are interested in him because he was really just a diamond in the rough, honestly, how I'm explaining it. Not really a rough, more like a sea of a bunch of weeds.
So, and he's a safe pick.
Yes.
Right?
Very safe. Gun safe. Gun happy.
He's very pro Second Amendment.
He's very safe. He had a picture with his dog, and he's pointing his gun away from his dog.
Right.
Whoa.
I mean, but yeah, so another thing I really like about him, he really doesn't have any ambition higher than vice president.
Mm-mm.
So he's not going to run for president because he'll be 68 running for 2 terms, and we'll be in the same boat we're in now.
And he has the energy now.
And he has the energy to be VP.
Yeah.
He has the executive experience.
He's at that age, I feel like, to where he's going to be off the rails a little bit. You know what I mean? Not like crazy, like doing crazy things, but he's going to be talking everywhere and be like, yeah, haha, jokes, boom, bam, like get everybody. Like, hey, Harris Walls. You know what I mean? Like,
and he also served in Congress, so he knows a lot of those guys and knows how Congress functions. So, I mean, there's a lot that I support his selection for our VP pick.
Debster has a dumbass of the week.
Let's hear it.
So, she goes, hey, I have my own dumbass of the week. Scott Baio, or Baio.
Yeah, Scott Baio. Chachi.
Scott Baio, yep.
Yeah.
Was on Fox being interviewed poo-pooing on Kamala's parade. He kept on using saying how weird her rally was when she brought out Tim Walz. The weird that the Democrats pinned on Trump. You know what? Walz is actually the originator of the weird meme, too.
He's the one who coined it.
And I think that's what got the young vote for them already. Because they're like, yeah, the jokes are in.
Yeah.
And we love this joke. A lot of people do. They are weird. And still people are running with it online. And it's still triggering for them. Like, it's hilarious to see.
Yeah. All I can say is it never ceases to amaze me how Scott Baio is not afraid to make a dumbass of himself.
Man, he could have been. Well, I mean, not say he could have been, but he might be a champion at some point. I haven't heard his name enough, but we do have Trader Green up there. Yeah, she does exist. Anyways, dumbass of the week time. You ready?
Right, man. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go first. I don't normally talk about this, so I apologize. Trump. He is my dumbass of the week because he did something that he was speaking, and when he was speaking, he was comparing his crowds, his wonderful crowds, his big old crowds that he brings on with empty seats, were better than MLK's crowds at the Lincoln Memorial. Even comparing the crowd from January 6th to it, saying that his crowd at J6 was much larger and bigger than MLK's at Lincoln Memorial.
Why doesn't he just pull his pants down and measure his crowd size?
It's just, I could not believe that it was something that he compared it to, but he did. The I Have a Dream speech was much smaller than mine. Mine was much bigger than his.
Let's just compare the two, all right? Number one was a speech about freedom and equality.
Yep.
And the other was to overthrow a free and fair election because
to ensue a insurrection.
Correct. And so that's what he wants to do, is compare the size of his insurrection. Really.
It's so funny. Anyways, he gets the dumbass of the week, which also he is a competitor for Scott Baio as well. Sadly, he does also exist.
Yeah.
So, anyways, your turn.
All right. So mine, I don't know if I want to call this a dumbass of the week or entitled dumbass of the week or just, hey, America, pay attention to what the fuck is going on and how they really feel.
Sorry, Brittany says, mine is much bigger than his, said Napoleon. Yeah. Continue.
Well, my dumbass is J.D. Vance.
Hey, okay.
Because at the rally in Wisconsin, I want to say Wisconsin, Michigan, one of the two. Anyway, he decides he's just going to walk over to Air Force Two, the vice president's plane. And of course, it's protected by Secret Service. But now he also has Secret Service protection because he's the vice presidential candidate. And they're like, what the hell are you doing over here? And he's like, oh, I just want to come check out my future transportation. You know, like, you're measuring the curtains already.
Yo.
And he's like, and I just wanted to say hi to the vice president.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you really think you're just that entitled that you can walk uninvited up to the vice president of the United States?
It's funny that he says it's future when Trump is still president.
You know.
Anyways,
But
Debster is also correct. JD does exist too, so there's a lot of competitors for Scott Bayos for dumbasses of the week.
But I just found that to be so
Dumb.
belittling.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Like, I can do this. I'm entitled. I'm white. I'm going to go up to Air Force Two because that's what I feel like doing. And, you know, to me, it's just like that is a motivator. That makes me apoplectic to get out there in November and vote for Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president.
Just imagine if we had that guy in the White House and he started doing dumb things with his future transportation, not current. Interesting. Agreed. Dumbass of the week. Earned. Also, funny meme. There was a couch on the curb that was standing straight up. Somebody put it out there for to get taken by for garbage. And they wrote on said couch, J.D. Vance stood me up. Ding. Anyways, that's all the time that we have today. Thank you guys for attending the show. That was a really good one and a quick one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, interact with us in the future. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
Have a wonderful weekend. R&R is key. Take care of your mind. We'll see you next week.
And don't forget, be kind to one another and treat each other the way you want to be treated. And once again, I know I want you to mind your own damn business. So I'm going to treat you by minding my
My own damn business.